I keep my goals to myself, cause whenever I share with folks, they get a look upon their face and their memory floats to a time where their goals and the stars ain't...
What's good? We're going to get into NXT New Year's Evil from January the 6th, 2026. A pretty okay show for the most part. There was one thing on the show I didn't like, and that was the Ethan Page segment. And we'll talk about that. Everything else on the show was pretty A-okay. It seems like we're going to get more call-ups, it seems like. And we'll talk about that. Before we get into the review, apparently Brinley Reese is no longer with WWE. Apparently she got injured and she had an injury scare or whatever. And it seems like she's done with WWE. That's what it seems like. Or she suffered some type of disclosed injury, or she has some type of disclosed injury, and now she's no longer with WWE. So that sucks. Hopefully she does get better. But maybe she can take maybe 6 months to a year off, and then maybe go to like TNA or somewhere like that or whatever to hone her craft. She was okay in ring. She was basically from NXT 2.0, and I think they put her in Evolve for a little bit too, if I'm not mistaken. But we're going to go ahead and get into the show. So we kicked the show off. It was supposed to be the match between Thea Hail and Mariah May for the NXT Women's North American Championship, but that match got canceled because Thea Hail made her entrance real quick, and then Mariah May beat the shit out of her, which was insane. So she beat her up, threw her into the barricade, broke that, hit her once or twice with the steel chair, and then that was it. She had to be restrained by officials. So that was cool there. Apparently, I've been hearing that Mariah May is going to be getting her call up too. So that's interesting, but you don't want to call up everybody just all at once. Like, I think that Mariah May should still stay in NXT, but we don't know if that's the case, but that's just rumor at the moment. So from there, we go into Ricky Saints. He shows up. He got a pretty good promo. He says that he's got a special gift from everybody. To give everybody. And that's to kick off the new year with him. He said last year he needed NXT. He really did. But now NXT needs him. And the reason, he said that's the reason why Javon Evans and Trick Williams, they all chose free agency. Because they knew that as long as he was there, that you can't compete where you don't compare. And he said that he doesn't blame them. And then he talked about the roster and put them over guys in the back. And then he says that he doesn't care who wins the main event, whether it's Leon Slater or Oba Femi. Ricky says if Leon wins, then he's going to handle him in due time. But Oba, if it's him, it's still 1-1. And that doesn't sit right with his spirit. He's going to finish what he started last year. He said he slips, but he never falls. And he's going to make sure of that. Regardless of who wins, NXT is going to be in his hands, as well as the NXT Championship. So that was a pretty good promo there. I do like that. Really good stuff there. It was short and sweet promo. Liked it. He got a good reaction. Ricky Saints is basically, I would say, the top heel in NXT. Ethan Page would be top heel number 2. So you do have your 2 top heels. But we don't know what Oba Femi is going to be doing. We know he's going to be on the main roster. We just don't know when. So I don't know, but Ricky having his fight for becoming NXT champion, that's fine, and I dig that shit. Moving on from that, This leads us into Ava. She scolds Robert Stone backstage for the shower being a mess. 10 minutes in, Ava tells Robert Stone to go find Mariah May. Then Ava grabs a grabs a headset from a production member. Ava then tells the truck to run the video package for Izzy Dame and Tatum Paxley. So that's fine. Okay, moving on from there, Ava, she then finds Mariah May. So Ava's pissed off. She said she tried to help Mariah May last week. She said, what the hell was that? So Mariah sarcastically apologizes for making a mistake. So, however, she told Ava that she asked for the glamour, and with that, with the glamour comes hell. And then Mariah tells Ava to go ahead and find her. She's going to give her back the women's NXT North American Championship. Ava says that Mariah's not going to go nowhere near that title because she's not going to. Not only is she not going to get a rematch for the title, but she's also going to get banned from the building. So there's that. That's lame, but it is what it is. Moving on. Finally, this leads us into the first match of the night. Tatum Paxley defeats Izzy Dame. Match was pretty okay. I actually enjoyed it. So towards the end of the match, Paxley hit a 450 splash, and she actually connected. I thought that Izzy got her knees up, but she didn't. And she ended up connecting with the cemetery drop for the 1, 2, 3. Love it. Good stuff there. Makes perfect sense. I actually do like this. So good. This makes sense. Clearly, their feud's not over. Maybe you do Izzy Dame and Tatum Paxley 3 at Vengeance Day in February. I think you can still hold the feud off for another month and some change. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I know Vengeance Day is in February. I'm not sure if it's going to be early February or the middle of February. It's probably going to be the middle of February because I was trying to do it around Valentine's Day. So there's that. So that's pretty cool there. Moving on, we have a new signee. And his name is Leo LaFleur. I don't know who he is. He's just done a bunch of stuff on the indie scene, and he's wrestled all over Europe and stuff, from France and all that. I mean, he's from there. He cut a pretty okay promo. He said that he put in more than 10 years of work. He's been proving his value more than 20 countries since he was 16. He's helped put French wrestling on the map, and his goal is continuing to build the momentum. The White Eagle is ready to take flight from Paris, France, to the U.S. The French Luchador is coming to NXT, and he's here to slash the sky. So this is pretty okay. I do like that. This is interesting. I'll give him a shot. I think he also did some stuff. Was it in Noah? I believe he did some stuff in Noah, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's done some stuff in Noah. I know he's done some stuff on the indies and stuff. So this is pretty cool. I like this. I'm a fan of Lucha. I am. I'm a fan of Lucha Libre. Maybe they can have him switch between NXT and AAA. I think that would be fucking awesome. So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. So moving on from that. This leads us into Ava backstage again. She's checking on Thea Hail. Ava gives Jordan Grace props for standing up to Jade Cargill last week on SmackDown. Then Ava tells Thea Hail she's going to push back the North American title championship match until she's 100%. Thea says, hell no. With all due respect, she needs to prove to everyone that she earned this title. Ava can't do anything about it because she kicked Mariah May out of the building. She's not going to reward bad behavior. Thea wants to bring back the open challenges. Ava says that's not a smart idea. Then Jordan Grace persuades and tells Ava that they've already made up her mind, just let her do it. And Ava then makes the open challenge official. Okay, that's fine there. Who gives a damn? Jordan Grace being on the main roster, to me, that's fine. It sucks that she didn't get a championship while she was down in NXT, but it's fine. It makes perfect sense, clearly. So, she should do well on SmackDown, though. She should do very well. They just need to decide if they're going to put her to go after the mid-card title for the women, the U.S. title, or if she's going to go after Jade Cargill. I think she should go after Jade Cargill. That's just me. But, it would be a good match, obviously, but that's it. Promo, hell no. Moving on. Jacy Jayne retains the NXT Women's Championship by defeating Ren Sinclair. This match was pretty solid. I was into it. Kendall Gray is very good and very agile and athletic. She's super good. She hit the Arahara moonsault perfectly in this match, which was beautiful. It was chef's kiss. The finish came when Kendall was going to go for the Shades of Grey. Then Fallon Henley gets involved. She trips her, and this allows for Jacy Jayne to hit the rolling encore for the 1, 2, 3, and that was all she wrote. This is fine. This makes perfect sense. So there is that. Who dethroned Jacy Jayne? I have no idea at this point in time. It could be a Lola Vice, but it seems like she has her sights set on the Women's North American Championship, and we'll talk about that when we get to it, but that's where Lola Vice's head is at pretty much. But what do you do from... who goes after her? So, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how that is going to play out, too. Moving on from that, this leads us into Ethan Page. He's talking to Ava. He just says some stuff, talking about how he did it in 2025, how he had 12 successful title matches last year. Ava mentions that Ethan had the same amount of title defenses as Dominic Mysterio, Oba, and Stephanie Vaquer. That's all about him. Ethan didn't want to embarrass Ava by mentioning all the title defenses that he's done on NXT live events. So he knows that Ava's in a bad mood, and he didn't want to piss her off. He tells her there's no catch. Then he leaves, and then he introduces the Vanity Project. So they're finally there. They're going to be the future of Ava's brand. Jackson Drake tells Ava that they should discuss 2026. So this is fine. I do like this. And then on tomorrow, on Wednesday, it's going to be Jackson Drake putting the Evolve Championship on the line against Sean Legacy. That should be good. I might tune in to watch that. That should be some kick-ass shit. Hopefully Sean Legacy goes over, and maybe in due time he'll be added into NXT, because he didn't need to be in Evolve, if we're being honest. Sean Legacy is pretty damn good. The crowd's into him, and he's a pretty good guy. I like him. Moving on from that. So Thea Hail, she did do an open challenge. She gets on the mic, and she talks about how she still wants to defend her championship. She's gone through too much to get to this moment and everything. And she says that the open challenges are going to be opened up again. So whoever wants a shot, come on out here. And the first one, whoever gets into the ring, gets a shot at the championship. So the entire NXT women's roster goes out there. And Tatum Paxley shows up with a chainsaw again, which was awesome. She chases everybody off, and then Izzy Dame sidesteps her and gets in. And then she beats up Thea Hail. Izzy Dame wins. She wins via the Avalanche Dame over, which was phenomenal from the second rope, which was great. It was awesome. So this is good. This makes perfect sense. This was a really good match between the two. My bad. Thea Hail got in her Kimura lock. She got that in. Izzy was able to get out of that. Izzy ended up hitting a chokeslam in the match on the announce table. And the finish was great, too, with the Avalanche Dame over, which was great. Love it. So now we can officially progress this feud between Tatum Paxley and Izzy Dame for the North American Championship for the women, which is great. This is good-ass shit right here. I do like this. I'm down for this. Maybe you do this at Vengeance Day. You do maybe a loser leaves NXT match, basically, kind of. You do like the stipulation of that sort, where that's Tatum's issue, and obviously Izzy's gonna put up the title, so that's fine there. Maybe you end their feud in like a steel cage match or something like that. I don't know. Maybe that's what you do to end their feud, but clearly Izzy would go over Tatum again and then sending her to the main roster, because Tatum would be great on the main roster. She's been in NXT for about 4.5 years. She's like Jacy Jayne. They're both super seniors. It's time to move both of them up, if we're being honest. Not just Jacy Jayne, but also Fallon Henley as well. So, yeah. Moving on. This leads us into the Vanity Project. They're trying to flirt with Lola Vice, which is kind of funny. Hank and Tank show up. Lola reminds them that she beat Izzy Dame 3 weeks ago, and she's going to go after Izzy Dame. But first she's got to deal with Kalani Jordan. And so Lola then runs her mouth about Kalani. Then Kalani throws her shoes at Lola, and then the two of them get into a pull-apart brawl, which is great. Love that. That was hilarious. I love that. Good stuff there. I do like the Kalani Jordan and Lola Vice feud. I do like it. It's pretty cool. Maybe Kalani gets called up. Maybe, I don't know. And I have to give her a congrats. Her and Carmelo are official. They're they're officially engaged. So cool shit there. So that's cool. I do like that. Interesting. I like that. Beautiful. Moving on from that, Joe Hendry, he is kind of pissed off in Ava's office. He don't want to. He's not here to sing, and he's not here to play guitar. He's looking for a fight with Dion Lennox from Dark State. They ruined his concert, and he's tired of their nonsense. And then Joe Hendry proceeds to challenge Dion Lennox to a no DQ match next week. So Ava makes it official. She's gonna make the match official only if Joe Hendry can find some backup, and he finds the backup in, spoiler alert, OTM. Fuck it. No, fuck that. That's so damn lame. No, lame. Moving on. What was also lame was the Ethan Page segment. So Ethan Page really didn't really say much of anything. He put himself over like he always does, saying that Javon Evans and Oba Femi, they're not the main event. It's actually him, and that the North American Championship is the most prestigious title, and he's defended across many countries and companies and multiple challengers. So then it starts going off the rails because Jasper Troy came out, then Josh Briggs, then Stax came out, said some stuff. Shiloh Hill's lame ass came out and said some stuff, and Tavion Heights, and it all broke down into like a massive brawl basically, and that was it. So everybody's beating up everybody. Ethan Page, he gets out of Dodge. And then it comes down to Stax and Shiloh Hill. Shiloh Hill clothesline Stax over the top rope. And he goes in for a kiss for Ariana, but then he takes out his fake teeth and, he puts it on top of the chest of Ariana. So, whatever. I don't give a damn about this shit. This is a waste of time. Whatever. Moving on, like I said before, Joe Hendry is going to team up with OTM to face Dark State next week. I don't care about this. Moving on, we still have some trouble in paradise with Zarya and Sol Ruka. They were chastised by Fatal Influence. So, there is that. Who cares? Ethan Page, he gets into it backstage with Miles Bourne once again. Ethan Page says that Miles was right. This is not his business, because that business is about championships and challengers, and Miles has clearly neither. Ethan Page asked Miles if he could hear him now. So, there's that. He was also, I guess, talking to a guy named Tate Wilder, who's on Evolve, so that's fine, I guess, whatever. Main event of the evening, Oba Femi defeats Leon Slater to retain the NXT Championship. Match was pretty okay. I liked it. Leon was able to get a couple of offensive moves in, like the tope suicide and everything else. The big guy that he always does in most of his matches. Oba Femi clearly dominated the match in the early going. And then basically he got control when Leon Slater got control when Oba Femi, hit his knee on the ring post and everything else, and sold that for a little bit. So there's that. Oba Femi wins via the fall from grace, and that was the show for right there. Then post match, we go to Ava's office. She's talking from superstars from Evolve and LFG. Ava says there's going to be a lot of opportunities in NXT in 2026. Giovanna Evans and Trick Williams, Last Legend, and Jordan Grace have all moved up to Raw and SmackDown, and she's certain there's going to be more call-ups. And with that being said, there's going to be a lot of potential of additions to the main roster of NXT. Then Robert Stone interrupts the meeting. Rob asked Ava if she saw what Oba Femi just did. So then we go back to the arena, and then the NXT Championship is placed on the center of the ring. And then Tony D is just staring at the title from the crowd, and that was it. So this is interesting. I'm guessing Oba just vacated it. So I'm guessing Oba is just done, which actually does make sense. I was thinking that maybe they were going to have Oba maybe come out next week and vacate the title, but this does make sense. I got a feeling that Oba will get involved in the Drew McIntyre, Cody Rhodes 3 Stages of Hell match on SmackDown. He'll probably play some part in Cody winning. Not the, maybe. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But this is kind of interesting. I do like this. I do. So New Year's Eve was pretty good. You had quite a few decent stuff on the show happen. Again, I did not like the Ethan Page stuff. That was lame. It was just lame. The main event was okay. I did like that. Oba Femi vacating the title was fine. Clearly, they can go with either Ricky Saints or Tony D being the head honcho in NXT now. We haven't heard Tony D'Angelo speak at all. He's been mute for a month now since he returned at Deadline back in December. So, there's that, but it's fine. But NXT was pretty okay for the most part. Outside of the Ethan Page stuff. But what did you guys think? Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.